Hello, everyone. Thank you for coming back. So, today I have another pre recorded interview with Marsha from Chessie's Adventures. She has a video channel on YouTube where she goes through, her journey with carnivore, the three dogs that she has in her life, and just some of the adventures that she goes on with those dogs and throughout her life. So, if you folks get a chance, please go and subscribe to her channel, and please go check out the videos that she has. I've had a chance to watch several of them, and it's really great to again get the perspective of someone who's living her life, but and it's not just focused primarily on carnivore, but it is of great importance in her life. So thank you, folks, and I will see you again all on Saturday.
All right, everybody. So thank you for coming back and watching another one of the pre-recorded interviews that I'm doing. So today I have Marsha with me from Chessie's Adventures. Marsha, how are you today?
I'm doing great, Jeremy. Thanks for having me on.
Oh, you bet. So folks, so again, what I've been doing lately is I'm trying to give a platform to everybody and anybody that wants to get their stories out there into the world. I know a lot of times it's kind of difficult when it comes to maybe trying to put all your information just into a comment, because a lot of times those comments may get missed. So what I'm trying to do, and I'm going to make sure it's in the description of every video that I do from now on. If you want to reach out to me, if you want to do this, then please go ahead and email me, and we'll get something set up. Also, just as a reminder, I do have a chat set up through Discord. So if you want to go and create an account in there, that's also a good place for you to be able to at least if nothing else, if you wanted to type out your story, you could certainly do it there, and that'll give you a chance to also be able to contact and interact with people without it just being on somebody's comment and hope that somebody sees it. Okay, so Marsha, let's go ahead and just start at the beginning here. So tell us about your life before carnivore. How were things going, and how were you at that point?
Well, prior to carnivore, I was really overweight, a lot overweight. I had quite a few health issues. How far back do you want me to go? Do you want the whole story of how I got there, or
I
what
mean,
do you?
as far back as you want to go. I mean, if you just want to cover just maybe the issues and different things, or
Mhm.
maybe like what it was that got you to the point where you started getting overweight. It's up to you.
Okay, I'll go back a little ways.
Okay.
Most of my life, I was tried to be health conscious and
Hmm.
just eat healthy. Of course I did eat junk because for 27 years I was an over the road truck driver, and
Oh,
that's
okay.
a lot of fast food and just grabbing something and eating while you're going down the road.
Hmm.
And so then fast forward, I met and married my husband, and in that was in 2003, and I
Okay.
became more localized, and I still tried to be healthier, but he liked all the goodies, the cookies and the cakes and the pastas and all that. Of course, I mean, I liked pastas and things like that. I was
Hmm.
never into the sweet stuff, but he
Okay.
was. Well, then he had some health issues. He was diabetic, and eventually, he had a stroke. On the stress from helping him and worrying about him for like the last 2 years prior to his passing, it
Okay.
started really taking a toll on me, and I
Yeah.
was just eating whatever I could get to grab and go, and the junk is the easiest stuff to do that with.
Yep. Yep.
So, in addition to me having some arthritic issues and different things that were starting to creep up, I had sleep apnea and all
Hmm.
that. It just was taking a toll on me too, and then he passed in October of 2010, and that took a bigger toll on me than anything, than more than I could have ever imagined even. And so I left our home after he passed. I left there and in Delaware, and I came back to Pennsylvania to help my mother. And things just spiraled downward from there for me as far as my diet because in grief, I'm an emotional eater. Some
Yeah.
people, if they're all upset or stressed out, they can't eat. I'm the opposite. All I
Yeah.
want to do is just shove food in my face. So I ended up gaining, oh my God, a ton of weight. Even my poor dogs, my 3 dogs I had at that time, even them, we'd eat together. They ended up being
Oh
fat,
no.
all of us. And so, then fast forward after a few more family losses over the years, and 2018, I lost my mom,
Okay.
and that was the catalyst. I had tried Atkins before that and
Hmm.
had some success, but after my mom passed, and I watched her die from lung cancer,
Okay.
and I decided that I needed to do something to change things. Now, this took a few months for it to sink into my head,
Yeah.
but I took a few months and I quit smoking. Hallelujah. And then in February, I guess it was, of 2019, I decided I had to change my diet because there was nobody left here but me, and who was going to care for my dogs? And they're my life. I never had kids, so they're my
Okay.
babies. And I thought I got to stick around to be healthy for them. And I don't want to be an old lady in an old sanitarium or old folks home somewhere
Yeah.
where people have to come in and take care of me.
Right.
So I changed my diet. I started with keto, and I did that for about a month. Now I was 263 pounds at that time,
Okay.
and I had a myriad of health issues. I had fatty liver, sleep apnea, all kinds of other stuff. Arthritis so bad I had to use an electric cart at Walmart.
Oh wow.
And my eyeglasses, hypothyroid, Hashimoto's, all this stuff. I'm probably missing a few things because I didn't write all this down.
Oh, no
But
worries.
so about a month later, and keto was helping. But
Okay.
I like stuff that's easy. I don't like having to stress over planning out recipes and different things.
Yeah.
And I started hearing about carnivore online from other people.
Hmm.
And then I found, I saw Kelly Hogan and I saw Dr. Berry
Yep.
and a few others. Um, and I thought, oh, yeah, because I always liked meat. I thought I could eat steak every day. That'd be awesome. So in March of 2019, I started carnivore
Okay.
and I stayed carnivore. I didn't cheat at all until it was shortly after the pandemic thing came about, and that summer and
Hmm.
I think it was just because of stress. Then I cheated a few times,
Yeah.
but I'm doing pretty good now. So
Okay.
things are doing good. So I'm 4.5 years, I guess, into my journey.
That's great. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's interesting because I hear stories of people who just found carnivore yesterday, and then I hear stories of people who have been doing it, for years and years, even before the term carnivore was ever coined,
Right.
for this type of lifestyle. So
Mhm.
it's always interesting to hear how people find it in different ways.
Yes, exactly. So
All right. Um, so tell us about your why. Why? So you've told us about your husband passing in 2010. Your mom passed away in 2018. You've had some other people. What is the main reason why you decided to make this change?
because I'd like to live as long as the good Lord allows me to live and do it in a healthy manner. And
Okay.
like I said, to take care of my dogs
Gotcha.
because I worry about them like most people worry about their children. So I just want to be healthy and be able to do things.
Sure.
And I hopefully and I pray that one day I'll just die in my sleep at the ripe old age of 100 and something. But we'll see. I'll check in with you then and
Okay.
we'll do another interview.
We covered the medical issues, and you've also said how long you've been going. So, what are the goals that you have going forward? You know, you mentioned that you want to live as long as you can, and
Mhm.
you know that you want to, you know, be around to take care of your dogs. What other goals do you have, you know, going forward that you'd like to be able to try to get to?
Well, I want to get to the point where I don't have, and this will probably go into part of your other question, but I
Okay.
don't want to ever have the urge to cheat ever again because I still do get those urges and it still
Right.
happens to me. So I want to get to the point where I don't have those urges anymore. And I also want to do some weightlifting. Not,
Okay.
just because as you get older, it's beneficial to keep
Right.
your muscle tone and everything. So I want to do that. And I think those are my 2 main goals, just to be able to, you know, l don't cheat ever again
Yeah.
and do some weightlifting and be toned and stuff like that.
Yeah, because I mean, the great thing is nowadays, I mean, you can go and get, you know, you can get dumbbells really inexpensive. I mean,
Mhm.
you know, I do a lot of walking every day. What I'm thinking about doing is actually getting, I don't know, it's just like 2 pound, I think, 3 pound things that you can put like on your wrist or
Yeah,
on your ankle. So,
yeah,
you know, as you're going, now you've got a little bit of resistance,
yeah.
you know, as you're going.
Mhm.
And, you know, and I've got, where are they back there? I've got a, where'd it go? So I've got some dumbbells actually
Okay.
here, and then I've got a little bench that I got from my brother the other day, and I'm going to start doing the same thing because
Mhm.
I've got I mean I've from for me I've still got a long ways to go as far as the weight. So, but it's also means that I'm going to have a ton of extra skin and stuff like that. So I got to try to work on
Yeah,
trying to get rid of some of that, and it'd be great to be able to start putting on muscle rather than fat. So, I
absolutely, and
totally
I
get
can
that.
relate to the, fat flaps under
Yeah.
here, what I call them.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's okay. Some people worry about all the loose skin and stuff, and I'm like, I'm hoping it shrinks up, eventually. But you know what? That's not a deal breaker because I would rather lose all this fat and be healthy metabolically,
Yeah.
even if I have to tote around some loose, jiggly skin.
Right.
So, you know,
Yeah, and I mean, I know that there are surgeries that are out there, but of course that's
mhm.
surgery, and
Yeah,
you're gonna end up having downtime
yeah,
of probably a couple weeks as your body recovers to the fact that you've had a bunch of skin removed.
yeah.
So, and good lord,
I'm
who
not.
knows how much expensive that is.
I'm not into surgery either. I'm not
Yeah.
going. No,
I mean,
no.
yeah, it's like do it if you absolutely have to, but otherwise,
Mhm.
I'll find something else to do.
Yeah, if it's like a life and death necessity, I'll be like,
Yeah,
"Well, okay, maybe."
right, exactly.
I'm
Okay,
stubborn.
yeah. Okay, so yeah, so as you alluded to, so have you ever felt the urge to cheat? And again,
Yep,
and folks, keep in mind too that that cheat, I think is I don't know. I kind of think it's overrated only from the standpoint of, I think it's one thing to slip, but I think it's another thing altogether if you just decide for like, okay, well, I'm just gonna go for a week and I'm just gonna go and eat whatever I want because I can.
yeah,
You
you're
know,
right.
I think that's one thing. I think it's another thing, and I think you'll go into this in just a second. But I mean, if you're out with if you're at family's house or you're out with friends or something like that, and if you're honestly looking to try to okay, I'm going to try to eat as much protein, but if there's only like 20% protein and the rest is kind of everything else, and you're hungry, well, then just eat.
Yeah.
And that's why,
Mhm.
because that's why I'm always saying, and not only is it one day at a time, but it's also one meal at a time. So even if
Yes.
you mess up one meal, it is not going to ruin everything.
Right,
So
right. You just have to jump right back on and,
yeah.
keep doing it. Yeah, I have had the urge to cheat. I have cheated over the last 4.5 years. Uh,
Okay.
In fact, yesterday was one of them.
Oh.
I did. I went to a little birthday party for my 5-year-old great nephew, and I had some commotion going on at home with the dogs before I left, and
Yeah.
I actually forgot to eat what I had prepared
Oh, okay.
before I left.
Yeah.
I got to his party, and all they had was pizza and cupcakes, and
Yeah.
pizza was always one of my downfalls, and so
Yep.
I cheated yesterday, and I'm kicking myself. But you know what? I'm right back on today, and
Right.
I
Yeah.
guess that's another goal, like I said, is just to not ever get the urge to cheat again.
Yeah.
You have to try.
Yeah.
I had good intentions of sticking to it and stuffing myself full before I walked out my door yesterday, and I just forgot. Dogs are
Yeah.
like little kids, they get you all distracted while you're
Yeah.
trying to do something. And then it was time to go, and I went and I got halfway there and realized, oh boy, I forgot to eat.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and I wasn't strong enough to withstand the temptation.
Yeah.
So I think I think I'm probably not the only person that happens to. You know, I,
No.
I I don't know if there's any person that's completely 100% perfect. And
No.
if they are, well, I say, yay, that's wonderful because they've managed to learn how to do that. And that's something that I want to try to do.
Right.
I have a vehicle going by here.
Oh, is that what that is? Okay.
Yeah, okay. He's gone.
Yeah, and honestly, because actually, what's funny is somebody actually told me once. I mean, the nice thing about pizza is you can just take the cheese and all the toppings, just scrape that off, and just eat that if you wanted to.
Yeah. But guess what happened? I didn't even do that. That was,
Yeah,
that
'cause-
was just, yeah.
yeah, because it's just so much easier to just pick it up. Just yeah.
I need Carboholics Anonymous to follow me around and kick me in the butt. Yeah.
Yeah,
But
and
fortunately, that doesn't happen to me a lot.
that's
So,
great.
yeah.
Yeah, and again, folks, don't sweat it. I mean, seriously,
Yeah.
it is. I think it's different when when you're doing if you're doing like Weight Watchers or Atkins or Jenny Craig or something like that. For some reason, it just feels like there's more pressure. If you fail, it's like, oh, geez, okay, I give up. But I mean, if
Right.
you've been
Yeah.
if you've been honestly doing carnivore for a couple weeks or 30 days or even 4.5 years, I mean, that it's going to work for you,
Hmm.
and you know that out of one meal you could probably get energy to maybe even last you an entire day if you had to.
Yes. Yeah.
So again, if you mess up, your system may be, oh shame, but it's gonna deal with it. It's gonna waste it out, and
Hmm.
life will just go on. So
It
please,
goes away fairly quickly.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So don't beat yourself up, folks, about that.
Right.
So Marsha, how is your life now? How are so with the list of things that you gave, the issues that you had, do you still have those? And how are things going for you now after 4.5 years?
Most of my health issues are either gone or dormant.
Okay.
Um, my arthritis, I had bad arthritis in my left knee. In fact, when you were talking about surgery,
Hmm.
my doctor told me a few years ago, you may have to have surgery there. I'm like, I don't think so. Like
Yeah.
when hell freezes over. And I would take my mom to Walmart once a month, and she needed an electric cart, but so did I. So we
Oh
were a
yeah.
pair.
Yeah.
Now I don't it's not gone. I'm gonna say it's dormant for lack of a better medical term.
Okay.
Uh, but I can't even tell it's there unless I eat something that triggers it.
Wow.
Like nightshade vegetables or anything like that, like a tomato
Oh
or
wow.
something like that. If I eat anything with seed oils in it, the
Okay.
next day I know it's there. But now I can run up and down the stairs. I take my
Oh
dogs on walks. I run around with them. Yeah, it's really good. My
That's great.
fatty liver, I haven't
Hmm.
had the medical tests, that, that show whether it's still there or not, but I think it's gone because it doesn't bother me anymore, and I can
Okay.
put on where my liver area is, it doesn't hurt anymore like it used to,
Oh
so I
wow.
don't
Okay.
have that issue.
That's
My
great.
eyes my eyesight has improved twice
Okay.
over the last 4.5 years.
Nice.
I don't have sleep apnea anymore, it's gone.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, my thyroid, I still have the thyroid medicine I take because I have the Hashimoto's and I'm still trying to get that under control. I don't know, like I listened to what Dr. Chafee was talking about one day about that. And sometimes I guess if you've had it for so long, there might be damage that won't repair.
Oh,
But
okay.
I don't know. But even if I feel better still, I feel way better than I used to. I've had this
Okay.
since 1990, I think it was. I was
Okay.
diagnosed with it. So that's the only one that I still, and I just take a pill every day for my thyroid.
Okay.
But
Gotcha.
other than that, I don't take anything. I I don't get headaches anymore.
Oh, good.
Oh, dental. I used to I'd get teeth infections, like, in my
Oh,
molars and stuff,
okay.
and I had went out to the dentist a few times, they pulled out teeth, I lost 3. I have nothing on the bottom on this side
Okay.
now, because I'd get a tooth infection and all the dentist said was, "Well, I'll pull it and you have gum disease." He didn't tell me anything about how to fix it or how he could fix it or anything, and so since I've been on carnivore, I have no more gum disease. I haven't got any more tooth infections. My gums look normal again. It's
That's great.
it's amazing to me that, you know, it's like Dr. Barry says about how we've been lied to all these
Hmm.
years.
Yep.
And I always thought so too. And it's just becoming more out in the mainstream now and people are listening and realizing that.
Yeah.
And it sometimes it kind of irritates me because we've been lied to. And a lot of these doctors and dentists and things, they're well meaning, I think,
Yeah.
but they don't have, they don't want to open their mind to other ideas other than what they've been taught.
Right.
And that bothers me. And hopefully that's going to change now with more people speaking out and more people on YouTube talking about it and more doctors and everything. So, yeah, I think it's gonna be a positive change, I believe.
Yeah. And honestly, sometimes I wonder if I, and this is just me, this is just speculation, but sometimes I wonder if they, have to actually tell you, no, you've got to follow this stuff. You know, maybe it's because of for their practice, maybe, you know, I don't know, maybe they don't want their license being removed or revoked because they're not following the line that the
Yeah.
medical world is telling them to say. So,
I wonder about that too. I think and I don't know how that works, but I have a feeling that that's true in a lot of cases.
yeah.
I think so. Mhm.
But yeah, yeah, like you said, hopefully, the further this goes, the more people that get reached, I think the
Yeah,
more people will, begin to understand, then they'll have that sort of red pill moment kind of thing. And then they can eventually tell, their doctors about it or at least ask about it. So,
exactly. Yes. Yeah, and I think it's so nice to see so many people with their channels talking about carnivore now, I
yeah.
think Carrie over at Homestead How really did a good service, and he's doing a wonderful thing making that documentary, so I
Oh,
can't
no,
wait to see that.
absolutely.
In fact, I saw you on the live the other
Yeah.
day. I was gonna I was gonna send my video in, and I got the dates mixed up, and by the time I
Oh,
got I'm like, "Okay, that's alright, it's okay."
yeah. Yeah, I actually it was funny because I think the weekend before, or day before something, or a couple days before, I watched a video where someone had asked him, hey, is there any way, to get in? He said, well, the lineup is really full, but if you want to send me something.
Hmm.
I can go ahead and put it on. So I got home that night. I just recorded a video and just emailed it to him, and I figured, well, you
Yeah.
know, if he does it, cool. If not, no big deal. But he actually responded back, said the same thing. He said, I will put it on near the end, and I think it was great the fact that he just kind of edited all those videos together and just threw them all in there.
I thought that was
So
awesome too. For some reason, in my little pea-sized brain, I thought he said the 18th that was starting that you had to have it in.
oh
And
yeah.
I'm like, oh, well, I guess I do still forget things sometimes. But oh, that's something else I wanted to say is I used to have really bad depression
Yeah.
and brain fog and stuff. That's all gone. The only thing I
Right.
deal with a little bit now in the wintertime is that seasonal where you get the blues in the wintertime,
Yeah.
because it's so dark. I still have that, but it's easier to manage than it used to be.
That's good.
So I'm gonna work on getting rid of that too.
There you go.
Yeah,
Okay, so I think this question I think is the most important for everybody is, do you feel after, after looking at everything, that has happened to you in the past with all the issues that you've gone through, even though yet, you've lost loved ones, do you feel that carnivore is the right choice, is the right decision for you?
absolutely. Yes. I don't want to ever go back to another way. Now, I have had, and I made a small video about it on my channel about, eating some of my homegrown vegetables, but I don't do that unless I get toward the end of the month, and my meat runs out because I'm on Social Security, so I have a
Okay.
fixed income, and it's everything's getting more expensive.
Yep.
Do
Yep.
I want to eat anything else? No. Will I to keep from starving? Yes.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
hopefully I'm going to be able to manage and
Yeah.
stick with it. Even if I have to eat ground beef and chicken wings the rest of my life, hopefully I will be okay with that for a while until things come back to a more normal state of affairs in this country.
Right.
I hope.
Yeah.
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 So
And
yes, it's wonderful.
And yeah, even for me, I mean, a ground beef at this point is pretty much just my staple.
Hmm.
Because I mean, it's inexpensive. The store that I go to, if I get there at the right time, they usually will have like 75-25 or something like that, and it's
Right.
usually they'll sell in a 3 pound pack for like 12-13 dollars. So I usually
Hmm.
buy two or three of those, and then just cook them and put them away. And
Yeah.
I mean, I will get 4 or 5, you know, really good size bowls, just a regular bowl, but I'll get 4 or 5 meals out of that.
Right.
And
Yeah.
and then usually what I'll do is, the nice thing is like, eggs have come down. So, like when I go back to eggs, I'll usually just poach. A lot of times what I'll do is I'll poach those, and if I have to go to work, I'll take those with me.
Hmm.
And even though they're in a container, I'll eat them cold. I don't care.
Right.
Because I've just kind of gotten used to over the years just kind of eating food at sort of odd temperatures. But I
Yeah.
mean, you do what you need to, in order to be able to survive.
Yeah.
I mean, I watched the video from Dr. Barry about, even if you have to like eat spam or
Hmm.
those little Vienna sausages, or I mean, those are, yes, those have preservatives, yes, those are, um
Yeah.
they'll they'll be one of the things that'll probably last a nuclear war.
Right.
But at least if nothing else, there's protein, and it'll satisfy you,
Hmm.
and you're gonna feel good about it.
Yeah, they're better than pizza and donuts.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, I hope to be a carnivore the rest of my life. That's what my plans are.
There you go.
Yeah.
Okay, so is there anything, out of the questions that I've brought up, is there anything that you wanted to to bring up or talk about that hasn't been discussed yet?
Mm, I can't think of anything. I think you really had some good questions and covered a lot of ground with what you asked. I can't think of anything right now.
Okay. And so again, folks, this is open to anybody. If you want to, I mean, so far I've had two people, no, three people where I've actually got them on camera to get their responses right away. But I've already had one person who, I mean, she sent me emails of all of her responses that she recorded off of her phone. So I mean,
Cool.
even if that's all you have, even
Hmm.
if you're not able to turn on a camera, or you're not sure how to use a camera, or maybe you don't want to, but if you still want to get your voice out there, reach out to me and let me know. Or
Yeah.
I mean, go to the Discord server that I have, and go in there and start chatting away. I've got three channels in there. One is just general, one is for recipes if anybody wants to jump in and put something up there, and then the other one is for you to tell your story. There's in this day and age, even though electronics are all around us, there are a lot of ways for you to get your story out there.
Right.
So
Yeah. And I
so
appreciate you doing this because it's really nice. I had a really enjoyable time
great.
speaking with you. And I'll be looking forward to your other interviews that you're going to be doing.
Yeah, so I've actually got a gentleman from Norway I'm going to be filming later this week, and I've got somebody else who had reached out to.
Mhm.
So usually, folks, what I do is, unless you're able to join in on on Saturday mornings at 10 a.m. Eastern, I think it's just easier to pre-record these, and then I just play them, in their entirety, unless I need to go and edit something out. So
Right.
don't don't feel like, oh well, he's only going to do it when he live streams. That's not it at all. So I mean, this is being recorded on a Monday morning, and this will be played back either this Wednesday or on Saturday morning. So don't
Yeah.
worry about the when. If you can't make it, I will work around your schedule as best I can.
Yeah, it's awesome. I really think it's a great idea. I might think about doing a few myself, with
Yeah.
other people. And I just wanted to say that if anybody ever wants to watch any of my stuff, it's some carnivore stuff. It's about my dogs, and they're carnivores too. So
There you go. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, so folks, so Chessie's Adventures, please go over there and subscribe and go watch all of her content. I mean, when I looked, that you've got like what, over 700 videos out there right now.
Oh yeah, a lot of
Wow.
them are shorts, a lot of short
Okay.
videos and different things. And I started out like Carrie did with a homestead channel.
Okay.
And then over the years it did some changing. And we have plans to do road like van life stuff, and
Oh, nice.
hopefully soon. Oh, not this year, but maybe next year we're gonna do it. So I'm gonna mix all of that, like the carnivore, what I eat, what they eat, with our adventures that we do, and
Okay.
just different things. So it's kind of a mixture, but I think it's sort of fun.
Oh, that'd be great.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Thank you, Jeremy, so much
oh,
for
you
the
bet.
interview today.
Yeah, thank you, Marsha. This is great. So thank you for joining me, and thank you, folks. Again, if you feel like you want to do this, please feel free to reach out to me. The email will be in the description for this video. So thank you, everybody.
Bye.